almost half of South Africans going on holiday plan to spend more money than they did last year, and that's according to a survey conducted by market research company Infoquest. Now, some of the other findings include that most people will holiday locally, although a fair chunk are travelling abroad. Despite concerns about E. coli at Durban's beaches, KZN remains the most popular destination. So let's unpack this now even further with Research Director Mogorosi Mashilo joining me this morning to take this conversation forward. Mogorosi, thank you so much for your time and good morning to you. Where are South Africans thinking of going these December holidays? Because I was just saying to Gareth that growing up, I went to grandma's house. I'm not sure if you relate, but that was my holiday destination. And I had fun with it with my cousins. But as far as your data is concerned, where are South Africans going this year?
Thank you, Tumelo. I think, you know, as you mentioned earlier, almost 50% of South Africans are traveling within South Africa. What we've also noticed is that, as you mentioned earlier, first it was, you know, traveling to Emakhaya, and that was limited to that. But we see more and more South Africans being able to, with the likes of, you know, your short lifts and so forth, being able to actually also explore around tourist areas, even whether you are a kaya, but you manage to go to a local lodge, to a local activity, and also do a bit of tourism while you also at home.
I think what I also found interesting, Mogorosi, is that over or about approximately 50% of those taking holidays say they will be spending more than they did during their 2021 holiday. And that begs the question, do South Africans have the money to travel and spend on holidays and traveling? Can they afford to?
That's a very good question, and I think, you know, it is twofold. Firstly, for the economy and the tourism sector, this is very good news. It means that the sector as a whole is getting back traction from the past 2 years that has been on lockdown. For the consumer, yes, there is a sense of being able to manage your funds correctly, not obviously going overboard, but being able to spend within your means. And what we've also uncovered within our study is that 34% of those that will be traveling will be staying with family and friends, and also another 34 will be staying on a guest house or B&B. So what this also means is that they're also looking at more affordable ways in comparison to the traditional way of traveling. And you know, we've got apps nowadays that people can rent out their apartments and so forth. So with that, it actually does give value for the traveler. And also, you know, being locked down for the past 2 years, a bit of mental, you know, people need to get out. It's good for their mental health. It's good for social interaction. So, but you need to do that moderately, obviously, and just make sure that you still go out within your means.
Absolutely. And I know that even with the impact of COVID-19, we've seen the tourism and hospitality industry trying to be resilient. They've actually been resilient. So this is good for them. Should there be more and more people traveling locally as opposed to abroad? I want to touch on KZN right now because it is a popular holiday destination for South Africans. Will it still be popular this time around, given the reports around high levels of E. coli and spillage still found in beaches and water there?
Yes, definitely. So according to our research and our respondents, the three most popular provinces, firstly is KZN, this is followed by the Western Cape, and lastly Mpumalanga. So people still really keen on holidaying out in KZN.
And those are the top three, but do you know if there are any least places that South Africans visit, especially during this time of the year? You mentioned Mpumalanga, KZN and the Western Cape. What does your data say about the least visited provinces?
So the least, coming at 3%, is the Northern Cape. And then this is followed by the Northwest at 7%. But as mentioned earlier, you know, when South Africans are traveling, their traveling activities, they talk about the ocean. That's the first biggest a place they want to go. And then secondly, it's followed by the bush as well as the mountains. So when you look at KZN, when you look at the Western Cape, this is where the most attractive place that will bring that ocean to them. And also Mpumalanga, we know that because of the mountains and the scenery, that's what they choose to go into. The likelihood of a Northern Cape and a Western Cape obviously do not have the same attractions as the three provinces right now, but obviously this is seasonality, and we know we're in the summer season and people just want to go out and just enjoy the sun and sunshine.
Yeah, well, of course, that's interesting information you have shared with us, and thank you so much, to you, Infoquest Research Director Mogorosi Mashilo. I suppose even for those other provinces that are least visited, it's homework for them.